Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe's Classic Video Games back with another cool jukebox repair video for you this evening. We have been working on this super cool Rowe AMI CD100A jukebox. This is a 100A, but it's been updated to the more modern stuff. So they've made a CD100A, 100B, 100C. If you have any of those, this is very similar to yours. But what we're going to do today is work on the central control computer a little bit. I haven't messed with it yet. So we're trying to get this thing nice and reliable so that we can sell it here in our shop. Okay? And so we already did a couple videos where we worked on the mech board down there. Had all kinds of problems. The thing had caught on fire at some point. But guess what? We fixed it. So go back and check out those videos if you haven't seen them yet. There were 2 of those. And we've got the thing up and running. So in this video, we're going to work on the central control computer. The reason that we're going to do that is because the thing is forgetting its memory. So we can't leave it set on free play. And when we sell them to people for their home, they prefer to have them on free play, usually. You can set it up where it takes quarters and everything, but it's fun for a little while, but after a while you just want to be able to press the button and get it to play. So we're going to do that. We're also going to show you later on in the video how you can print out all of these cool album cover song lists, the title cards, how you can print out the title cards for free. That's right, I said free, at no cost to you. So look for that later in the video. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this sucker off, and then I'm going to pop out that central control computer, because I want to see why it won't save its settings. I'll bet there's a battery in there, and I'll bet that said battery has died. Hopefully it didn't eat up half of the traces on the board when it did. So I believe you can fold this forward. Will it fold? I might have to pull it all the way out. But I'll get that out of there, out of the computer, out of the cabinet, and then we'll take it in the back and we'll check it out and see what it looks like inside. So here is the board, central control computer. You know, another thing I want to check out is there are these 4 connectors down here, all next to each other. I want to look at the board and see if all of those do the same exact thing, because if they don't, that's a horrible design. That'd be so easy to put this one here and that one there, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be so easy? Surely they didn't design it like that. But we'll see. Might be cool to check those too, see if they're the same. Certainly. Okay, so this is what you get out of it. And they have little clips here that if you push in, you can pop the top off of it, I believe. We're getting there. Easy as that. Now this is this version, but I think there are several versions that have different part numbers but are very similar. So let's see what we got here. It's the back plate. So somebody has soldered a replacement one in that didn't have the little tabs on it. I'll show you that here in a second. But that's cool that it uses a button cell. Boy, I like those. They don't leak. That's the good thing about it. So it's ran off of a Z180 MPU, it says, whatever that is, from the 32nd week of 1996. Z81806PSC. Okay. It has one ROM. That would be the RAM. A couple 74 244s. A couple 74 17s. There is a socketed chip down here that is not even populated. Okay, so these three here, I wonder if they're the same. They are not. The bottom two are, but it looks like the top two might be different. Unless, wait a minute. Nope, there's threads on the top, traces on the top. So all three of those physically are the same. So you could plug any of these three plugs into any of these three and it would do the exact same thing. So let's see about these four. The top two are connected together by traces, pin for pin. And then on the back, the bottom three are connected together, pin for pin. So all four of those are connected together and do the exact same thing. So that's a pretty cool design. You know, I assumed it was like that, but you know what happens when you assume. So these four plugs over here, it doesn't matter what order you plug those plugs in. It'll work if they're plugged in any of them. And these three plugs here, it doesn't matter what order you plug those in. They will work plugged into any of the three. That's good to know. Now this one, these are different. These are different. And this is different. And this is different. But they're all kind of routed different. So it's a little easier to tell that all of those need to be where they are. You can see the board has a little bit of, that looks like heat damage. It kind of is, but it's kind of, it's from this heat sink is what's going on. In a home environment, not really that big of a deal. Remember, they had these things out on locations. They would be turned on for years sometimes. Years. So I'm going to pop that battery out, and then we're going to look at it, and we're going to measure it and see if it's still got any voltage in it. So my two connections are here and here. So let me desolder that, and then we'll measure it and see what kind of voltage it's got left in it. Okay, so we were able to get the battery off. It's a common 2032 battery, it's part number. This is where it was. I got most of the glue off. I've seen this before on Pokemon games. So if you, the Nintendo Game Boy Pokemon games had a battery in them that saved all of the settings and everything, and like the saved your progress in the game and how many of the little Pokemon monsters you had collected. But there's a couple types of these coin batteries. These, back in the day, I always called these watch batteries. They're a little bigger, though. I don't know if there were any watches that actually used one that big. I guess there was. But coin cell batteries. You can get them that don't have these leads on it, and then you can get them with the leads on it. The problem is if you have one that doesn't have the leads and you have to put leads on it. That causes you all kinds of trouble. Because you can either glue it on like they did, or you can try to solder it on. But the original ones, when they have the leads on them, it's not actually soldered on, it's welded on. If you try to solder it on, you heat the battery up with a soldering iron. And you know your soldering iron is running 600 degrees or whatever it is. So heating up a battery can make it explode. Oh no! So you don't want to do that if you can help it. Don't do that. So I'll show you the best way to do it. So you can buy one of these that has the leads on it. It looks to me like what happened was they left the leads off the old one and then glued the new battery to where the lead was touching the top and then the other one was touching the bottom. You could do that, but that's not the best way to handle it. So what we're going to do... Oh, first, let's see if it's got any power left. What do you think? Has it got any juice? How am I going to do this with you folks watching? You know what? Let me check. I'll be right back. I'll tell you. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you exactly how much juice it had, but I need both hands. It's completely dead. Doesn't have any voltage left. So, now what it is actually doing, let me see here. Let me see where the voltage is actually even going. Where are you running to? I don't really know which chip that it is attempting to So I don't know which chip that it's sending to, but basically, usually there's a RAM chip that needs it so that it can remember its settings. But it's irrelevant, people. But the best way to do it is to get a little holder. So you can buy these for like 50 cents. And you just put it in place. Now, you need to look and see which side is positive and which side is negative. So positive is the rim, and negative is the flat bottom part. And then the board will be marked. Positive goes up here. And then the legs will fit right in where the battery's supposed to be soldered. Well, you'd look at how pretty that is. Wow. So we'll solder that in, and then you can just buy the button cell batteries. Without the leads on them, and pop it right in there. And then if it ever dies, you can pop it out and just slide another one in, and you don't even have to take the thing out of the cabinet. You could just pop that cover off. Well, I guess to get it, you have to take it out of the cabinet to get the cover off, but it'd be easy to do. You see my point, right? So if yours is doing this, you might want to consider putting that battery holder. Your only other really option is to put either try to glue one or to put the ones with the legs on it. Why go through the trouble, people? This thing's such a clean way to do it. And you know me, I like a clean machine. So we're going to pop one of these in. Oh, and by the way, if you put this holder in, these are very common. You can buy these at Walmart. So you can get these all over the place. Takes care of your problem. So let me solder that back in, and we'll pop the battery in it, and it'll be ready to put back in the machine. So fit right in perfectly, no problemos. And then the battery went right in. I tried to write 2021 on it. My Sharpie was a little thick. I need a thinner Sharpie. But it's a good idea to write the year of the battery on it. It doesn't really matter on these because hell, they don't really leak. They can leak, but they don't really leak. But, it'd kind of be nice for somebody down the road to know when the battery was changed. With that said, they probably won't be able to read that, but at least I gave it a try. It was the thought that counts, people. The thought's what counts, okay? It's the thought that counts. I don't know why you're arguing with me. It's the thought that counts, people. Okay, so I'm not going to mess with anything else because the thing was working. And there's no battery damage or anything because these don't really cause much battery damage. Got a little bit of smoke damage there, but I'm going to leave it alone because this is going in a house, so they're not going to be leaving it on for 10 years like it was left on the first time. Remember, jukeboxes and pool tables were the workhorse of the coin-op industry. The jukebox gets left on all the time, and there's one in the building. One jukebox constantly playing, constantly turned on. They got to build them right. The change machine too. The change machine's always on, always working. Now all the games, sometimes they're being played, sometimes they're not. Pool tables, constantly making money too. But these things got a whole ton of play. If you got a jukebox in a arcade or a bar or whatever, it's there are people playing it all the time. So in your house, it will not get anywhere near the work that it got out on location. Minor little things you don't have to worry about, but I'm gonna go pop this back in, and then there's a couple little light bulbs messed up that I want to address, and then we got to talk about printing out track lists for the CDs in the CD box or the little title cards for the 45 boxes. Okay, so if you look at the front door, there's a couple bulbs out. There should be one there lit up and one there lit up. And these are little miniature bulbs that you can get to from the back of this board. So let me open it up and I'll show you what we're dealing with. Look, they've replaced one of the speakers at some point. Okay, so I have popped the board off. And you can see that you can access these little holders. But the problem is they're hard to get out. I don't know why it's like that. I've always had that problem, though, where you can twist it and the thing will not come out. So you kind of have to force it, and it breaks it a lot of the time. So it's literally just a little bulb is burnt out. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So, see the two little wings? So basically, the bulb, the leads on the bulb wrap around the bulb and touch the leads in the holder. And then whenever you twist it in, one of those leads is touching one side and the other is touching the other side. Now, where have you seen this before? Vehicles have the same thing in their dash lights. So if you go to the auto parts store, you can get these little bulb holders if you break any of them. I think you can get the bulbs too. I'm going to look up the part number on the bulb and see if I can figure out the voltage and all that for you, just to help you out. Okay, so since we're working on jukeboxes a lot, we've got like a whole bag of them. There are number 73, and the holder is a T5 holder. That's how you can look them up if you need to get some of these for yours. And a number 73 miniature bulb is a 14 volt bulb that is a 0.08 amperage and a 1.12 watt. So that's what you're looking at. And the two that were in it, one of them definitely looks blown, the other one I'm not so sure. So sometimes, even if you put a new bulb, it still won't work, and it's because the holder isn't holding. The holder has to hold, people. So see the little metal prongs down in there? So the bulb, the lead for the bulb wraps around the edge. And so when you push it down in there, you have to make sure that the lead is actually touching the little metal things. And so I keep the holders in too. Yeah, hey, look, people, I don't want to run out. If I run out, that'd be horrible. Okay? So I'll slide those. I'm going to try to use the original holders. I'll slide those two back in, and we'll see if that gets them to light up. Easy as that. Just had some burnout bulbs. Now, the gentleman that had it before us put a green light bulb on the left and a red light bulb on the right. And we kind of like it. It looks kind of cool. And then the entire inside there is lit up by one big bulb that's up in the top. Now, you might have some of these burn out too, but all ours are good. Has a great look, doesn't it? It's got that early 90s look to it. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we print out some of the title strips so you can do it on yours for free. What do you think about that? Boy, it's hard to beat for free. We don't have them all in there yet. So some of them are still empty, but it's getting there. Let me show you how. Let me show you how we print them out. It doesn't cost you anything because there's this great guy running a site to help you make your jukebox look better. So this is the website you want to go to, jukeboxlabels.com. Jukeboxlabels.com. Isn't that a great name for a jukebox label website? So this person has went out of their way to really make things pretty easy for us. So if you end up using their website, you probably ought to throw a little money their way to have a donation thing. Look, buy me coffee. This gentleman likes coffee. Might be a lady, I don't know. The person likes coffee, so they want you to buy them coffee if you use this maybe. I put this out there for free for people to use, but it does cost money and time to run. So if you enjoy this software, a few bucks would be amazing. So that's your opportunity to make somebody's life amazing. So here's what you do. You sign up, and then once you sign up, you can see I'm signed in. You click up here to Dashboard, and it brings you to your dashboard. You can add a jukebox, right? So all jukeboxes. So I have added one. And once you create your jukebox, you can go in and just add an album. So for instance, I can hit plus, All right. Cover, you can put the cover art on it. And then the artist, so let's say like the Beatles. The Beatles. So when you click the Beatles, am I too bright? You probably can't see it as good. When you click the Beatles, you may have heard of them. You want to put a Beatles CD in. You click the Beatles. And then if it's an album that they know about already, it'll be listed. So let's say Help. Boy, that was a good one. Help. Bam, there it is. And it's got all the tracks and everything. And then you hit Create Album. And so now one of my albums is the Beatles. And you can go through and just add as many as you want. So mine, the Jukebox has 100 selections, so you can go through and add 100 different selections in. Okay. Now if it's one that isn't listed, you can just type it in. And you could upload your own cover art if you want. But the way the things were originally designed, the CD boxes at least, is that you just print the little card. And you don't print the actual art. You use the CD cover for the art. So let's say we want to print them now. So we go to Print Title Cards. You can pick your font. You can select which ones you want to print. And then there are additional options, blah, blah, blah. I won't get into all that. But like one thing we've been doing is tracks only. We're not printing the CD cover because it says you should own these albums before printing. We do not support piracy. Please support the artists. Yeah. So you can print out just the labels if you want, which is what we've been doing. Just the card, right? And then we're using the CD cover in the actual box as the artwork. So our little Beatles one would look like this. Now you can tell it to print the album number right here if you want. But what we've been doing is cutting it out. The original ones had that cut out, and the album number is actually on the little piece of plastic behind it that holds it. Okay. And it's as simple as that. The website works great. So check that out if you're interested in printing your own title cards. Now you can also do 45s, but I haven't done any of those yet. Another one that I like going to if you're doing 45 ones is there is an online title strip generator. I'm sure this one works great though. I just haven't tried it yet. But the one we've been using before this is the one at jukeboxrebel.com. You go to Jukebox Rebel and then there's an online title strip creator to make the little 45 strips if you need those in your jukebox. But I'm sure this one does it too. I just haven't used it yet, so I can't really show you how it works. I'd have to fumble through it a little bit. But works great. So we're going through, we got a whole stack of CDs here we're filling the box up with. Now people, you know, we're giving the CDs away to whoever buys it. So I can't go through and buy a bunch of like top-end CDs and fill it up with what I think the person in their brain might like. So we're just putting 100 CDs in it. So for instance, I've never heard of Sonic Flood. They may be the greatest band ever. I don't know. I've never heard of them. But they're in this CD box for free. For free. If it just happens to be a great band, all the better. Madonna, now she's one of the best artists that ever lived. But maybe not that album, right? So, you know, I'm just putting in whatever we got. So we're filling it up because the jukebox sells better if it's full of records or CDs or whatever it takes. Correct? Now, you might say, well, come on, man, you should have just left that one out. Nobody likes that. Well, they can take it out if they want. They're going to take all of them out. Do you honestly think I'm going to sell it to somebody who they want to keep the Madonna one? Maybe. Probably not. They're all going to put Rockin' the Roll in it. Everybody wants to Rockin' the Roll. We all know that. They like that rock roll music that Chuck Berry talked about. So this is, but this is, you know, I'm just playing around here, obviously. Have no problems with Madonna. Boy, I'm going to leave that one in there, actually. I'll play it on the video where we test it out. I'll make sure I play the Madonna song. Look, there's Bob Marley. And the Wailers. You know, you can put all your favorites in there. Now, if you type through and a lot of these, look, Sonic Flood, I didn't upload that. That was in there. So somebody's already typed this in. That must be a good band. And they didn't have the right Bob Marley album. So, I mean, don't come at me about priorities here, people. So we're printing all these out and carefully cutting them and putting them in the machine. And once we get all 100 in it, we'll show you what it looks like all dolled up. But hopefully that'll help you if you need title strips for your machine. All right, folks, we got it all cleaned up and looking as good as we can. Got all the CDs in it. Back in action. After all these years. I wonder how long it's been broke. Look, it says it's free. That's pretty cool. Rowe. CD, phonograph. Play the music. I think this came out in '89. I was just looking it up. 1989. A couple of the buttons have the text worn off of them. I might print a little sticker. The top one's the reset and the bottom one's the popular. These things have a real extensive settings menu too, so there's like some different settings I want to turn on. Like you can turn on that you can play the whole album by pressing the first 2 digits in popular. But I don't have that set up yet. But yeah, turned out looking great. What a cool box. I kind of like that it's the oldest one too. It's the A, the 100A. I'm sure all the new ones are better, but I like that it's the old school one. I guess they disabled the coin acceptance and the bill acceptance. They blocked it off. But you want to see the records I put in it? Now, people, we're giving these away, okay? I don't know what people are going to be into. I know they're probably not going to be into most of these, but I had to put 100 CDs in it just to get it where it's ready to go. So let's start at the beginning. Pulp Fiction soundtrack. Barbra Streisand. Yay. In Sync. The Cranberries. Solid. Annie Lennox. B.B. King, Live at the Regal. Look, I've got In Sync and B.B. King. The Rolling Stones. That's cool. The best of today's movie hits, but I think they're all re-recordings. Steve Green, The Letter. I think that's a Christian artist. I don't know Steve Green. 25 all-time Christmas favorites. Now, it's a bunch of good stuff. It's got like, it says Frank Sinatra, The Drifters, so it's got White Christmas by the Drifters on it, I think. Come on, that's a good song. This Providence, never heard of them. Siti Nurhalizia. I'm thinking maybe she's a really good, I think she's a really good violinist, maybe. I don't know. Florence and the Machine. Yeah. Michael Bolton. Michael Bolton says he said I loved you, but I lied. Seal is never going to survive unless you get a little crazy. The Jason Aldean one that we were testing it with in the previous videos. Julie Andrews, A Little Bit of Broadway. Boy, if you went out to a bar and they're sitting around listening to Julie Andrews songs, what would you think about that? The Greatest Hits of Atlantic Starr. I know Atlantic Starr is a cool band, but I don't recognize any of those, man. I'm going to have to play some of those, I guess. And then another record by This Providence. They must be a big band that I just don't know anything about. Silky Soul Singers. It's right up my alley. Jermaine Jackson, Smokey Robinson, and Jeffrey Osborne. I don't know Jeffrey Osborne. Johnny Gill, I know him. Al Green, Quincy Jones featuring James Ingram, Aaron Neville, Marvin Gaye. Coffee Brown. It says Mars and Venus. Completely ripping off Wings. They probably got sued over that. Annie Lennox again. Medusa. No More I Love Yous. I went the wrong way. Urena Nowie. Notice the guy has a pan flute. That will become relevant here in a minute. Ray LaMontagne, Trouble. It's a chick dancing with the devil, and she has a blindfold on. Okay. The Grand Theft Auto Vice City soundtrack. Deal with it, people. Deal with it. It's got all kinds of cool stuff. It's got Wanna Be Starting Something on it. Maybe that's the only thing good on it. I don't know. We'd have to listen to some of it. Weather Report. Best of Volume 1. At first, I thought that was a real weather report. Now, again, people, I'm just putting these in here so there's 100 CDs in it when I sell it. They're going to take all these ones that you don't like out and throw them in the trash. But if you read the comments below, people don't like different versions, different records. Jason Mraz, Waiting for My Rocket to Come. Okay. Isaac Hayes, Greatest Hits. Yeah, baby. What? I'm just talking about Shaft. Who is the man? Hank Williams, Greatest Hits. There you go. It's got the Love Sick Blues on it. It's got Hey Good Looking. Uh-oh. It's going to play one and screw me up. Wait, I got to turn it off. It's set on autoplay where it automatically plays something. Let's see what they were trying to play. I can't play it on this video because they'll ding me for a copyright strike. But the video directly after this one that I'm uploading at the same time, I'm going to play some stuff and just to hell with them. They're trying to play 6308. Let's see what that is. What did it automatically pick for us? I'm sure it's great. It's trying to play the Hollies Bus Stop.
Exploited by August, she was mine. Every morning I would see her waiting at the stop.
So if I leave that on the whole time, they're going to ding me. Maybe I can turn it down where you can just barely hear it. Last time I did that, though, I talked over it the whole time, and it wasn't very good. Okay, so a bunch of stuff like that. Garth Brooks, that's like some kind of greatest hits thing. There's a 70s one that's got a bunch of cool stuff on it. U2, Octoon Baby, that's decent, right? This guy, Forever Domingo, isn't he real famous? I don't know. Rod Stewart, Amy Winehouse, now we're getting somewhere, right? Jethro Tull, it's not that bad. Carole King, Enrique Iglesias, the mighty Bob Marley, Sarah Brightman, she's like the biggest selling opera singer of all time, isn't she? Johnny Cash, Bonnie Raitt, Il Divo, Marvin Gaye, Ashley Simpson. Come on, this will work. Oh, here's the pan flute joke that I got interrupted in. We have Zamfir, the master of the pan flute, in the jukebox. Ah, that's awesome. Luke Bryan. Okay. The Charlie Daniels Band. Am I going backwards? Susan Boyle. That's worth the price of the jukebox, isn't it? The Spin Doctors. The Doors. The best of Sam and Dave. Come on. You can't go wrong with Sam and Dave. Taylor Swift. I mean, yay. More The Doors. Will Smith. Flower Power. Mariah Carey. Look at that. Man, that's a good-looking woman. Sarah McLachlan, also a good-looking woman. Madonna, also, lots of good-looking women in her. All kinds of coolness. Okay, folks, we'll consider this one done, and we're about ready to sell it. I took the little thing apart, too. There was some Coke spilled down in there. I think it was Coke. Might have been coffee. But we got it about ready to sell, so I hope you enjoyed watching the video with us as we worked our way through it. Leave your comments down below. give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. I'm going to put up another video immediately after this one of us playing some music on it, so you can go listen to that if you want, so that they don't put a copyright strike against this one. We'll keep it separate. So we'll see you on that video. We'd like to thank everybody that's been using our Amazon links. If you don't know about that, down below the video there's a link to Amazon. If you go click on that link and go buy anything on Amazon, it gives us a little tip. So people have been doing that, and we appreciate that. You can also check out our website, lionsarcade.com. Check out the parts page up at the top of the page. Whenever you go there, we have a bunch of our stuff listed, like our t-shirts and coffee mugs and stuff like that, if you're interested in anything like that. And also there's links to stuff that we use whenever we work on games, little tools and things like that that you might be interested in. You can go check that out. And finally, make sure to check out my brother Donnie. If you don't know about him, it's my brother channel here on YouTube. My brother has his own channel. And if you like watching us work on these old arcade games, you might like watching us work on old buildings. Lately we've been doing that. We've been working on some old trucks and things like that. It's his channel, but I'm over there on it with him a lot. So leave your comments below. Click the thumbs up button. And we will see you in just a minute on the next video.